expert and the founder and CEO of Mediaspace.global. And it's a great pleasure to have Jeff Daker today for our preparation call for the Mediaspace Global Changemakers Summit 2025. Hi, Jaker. Hi, sorry. Hi, Jeff. How are you?
I'm good. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. This is my typical mistake in Hungarian. The names are the other ways around, so it's great to have you, and it's a pleasure to have you on the panel for a very, very interesting topic that we speak about on the 22nd of October at the Changemaker Summit. And this very specific topic is addressing the impact of generative AI on audience in the publishing space in general. So what do you think is happening, and what are your key thoughts about what to do as an industry about that?
Yeah, it's a great question. And let me first just start by introducing myself. Jeff Daker, I've been at Politico for over 10 years. I'm the executive director of research and insights here. I lead our global team. And we really focus on understanding our audience, how they're engaging with Politico, building products for them, and really kind of the best way we can engage kind of this core audience of political and policy decision makers. And so this topic of generative AI and in kind of the growth of the technology that can really and in many ways support, but also there's so many unknowns with it, with how this is affecting the publishing space is such an important topic for my team, but overall just Politico, and then again the entire publishing space. I would say that there's a couple of things that we think about, and I think about, AI as it relates to Politico and how we think about the value of it, but also better understanding the unknowns and what it can and can't do. From the first standpoint, the understanding AI and how it can support your technology and how you can be kind of quicker and in understanding engagement and data and making meaning out of data and surfacing that through product is an important thing. And really thinking about workflow automation through AI, those doing understanding who your users are through large language data sets is something that is important. We've seen pretty significant shifts tapping into these platforms and better understanding it. And then I would also say, how do we think about how AI is changing kind of how you surface content and how you could better understand kind of who these users are and the types of things that they want to read? That is something that's continually elevating how you can kind of really personalize content. I would say though, the distinction that we still make at Politico, because one of the things that is just such an important part of our process is the quality of journalism. At the core, it's the human interaction. We continually get this feedback through research that at the personal level is why people connect with Politico. They believe and trust our journalists. There's a connection between them. And that is something that we have to make sure sustains kind of in this evolving world of what AI is doing. And so while do I think that AI can continue to elevate data, technology, product development? Absolutely. We're seeing a significant change in the industry. The core principle of human-led journalism is something that has to sustain and is such an important part of Politico.
It just came to my mind that what you just mentioned regarding your connection with your audience and how important it is. There is a trust issue to this, I suppose, and I wonder if you calculate it in somehow and deal with that strategically, or as you focus on your audience, it comes anyway.
Well, it's calculation is an interesting word because when I think of calculation, I think of it's how we engage our audience through research. And it's not just testing products, but it's like what they want out of Politico. How are we fulfilling this need of something that we speak about a lot of Politico, utility journalism, providing a service. But if people are coming to Politico to better do their jobs, they need to trust us. They're relying on us, and we are we value that. We take that responsibility and hold it at a very, very high level. And that is why this kind of experience between, this human element of what needs to happen in the journalism space is such a necessity. And you have to make sure that like that is at the forefront of what we're doing. Now, are there ways that we can think about surfacing content and making sure it is getting to the right readers in a good time and better understanding who these readers are and using AI to kind of sit in the background to make our data better and make our product better? Absolutely. But that's what I love, especially about Politico, is like that type of distinction. And at the core, Politico is one only as good as that trust that our audience has in us. But we also just elevate the standard of journalism, which we've always have had, not only in the 10 years that I've been here, but since Politico has been founded. And so it is something that has to sustain as we continue to navigate what is very much still an unknown space.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, when I got an invitation to Politico Insiders, and that's how we met, by the way, uh, it was such an interesting um, proposition that you came up with, and I thought that I should be there. I don't have too much time, obviously, as none of us do, but I was like, oh my God, I need to be part of it. I need to accept this invitation because that's political, and probably that's the feeling that you are looking
Yeah.
for and building, and this trust for many people from all around the globe.
Well, and I appreciate you saying that. And in many ways, your feeling was our intent in creating, as you mentioned, the Politico Insiders, and for the listeners, a community of the Politico audience. And how do we engage this community and get feedback that really does help us define in many ways kind of our growth, our future. And so we are only as good as the quality of the product of the thing that we are bringing to our audience. But you can only do that in an elevated way, in a successful way, if you are listening to your readers. And that is, in many ways, what the insiders community is. But what I would also just say, how we think about kind of our audience in total. And that's why things like that and building communities and understanding kind of the needs is such an important part of this process and our growth.
Yeah, I think we need to stop here because we have to save further thoughts for the summit. But I would like to say thank you for your time today. I hope we will meet soon for the session rehearsal next week. And the Mediaspace Global Changemaker Summit is behind the scene kind of summit, so people won't be able to follow us unless they are invited. But we will probably publish a couple of things from our speakers and community members. So thank you everyone for watching us. Thank you, Jeff, for joining me today, and see you soon.
Of course, thank you for having me.